Which major city will completely collapse first? Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York City? Michael Snyder reports, in 2024, virtually all major U.S. cities have certain things in common. First of all, if you visit the downtown area of one of our major cities, you are likely to see garbage, human excrement, graffiti all over the place. You will also see below some of our core urban areas literally look like they belong in a third world country. Most of our politicians don't seem too concerned about doing anything to clean up all the filth, and so it should not be a surprise that rat populations are absolutely exploding all over the country. In some of our largest cities, the total rat population is numbered in the millions. Meanwhile, rampant theft of out-of-control violence, ending endless migration, predatory gangs, and worst drug crisis in the entire history of our nation have combined to create a perfect storm of social decay that is unlike anything that any of us have ever seen before. Millions of law-abiding citizens and countless businesses have been fleeing America's largest cities, and property values in our core urban areas have been absolutely crashing. We really are in the early stages of a full-blown societal collapse, it appears, and things just keep getting worse with each passing day. In this article, I want to focus on three largest metropolitan areas in the United States: New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. John Williams recently took his camera with him as he walked through the downtown Los Angeles and described what he witnessed as quote-unquote hell. Decades of failed policies have transformed one of the greatest cities in the entire country into one of the worst. At this point, theft has become so rampant that even the ultra-progressive politicians in California have come to the conclusion that something must be done. So several bills that would crack down on shoplifting have been introduced in the state legislature. Shoplifters beware. The California Assembly has introduced a comprehensive package of 7 bills aimed at addressing the rising concerns over retail theft across the state. One of the key initiatives is Assembly Bill 2943, jointly authored by Assemblymember Rick Chavez-Burr, Democrat, and Speaker Robert Rivas, Democrat, and the bill targets serial retail thefts by introducing a new crime with penalties of up to 3 years behind bars for possession of stolen property with intent to resell. It also allows for the aggregation of similar thefts from different victims to charge grand theft under specific criteria. Hopefully something will get done, because right now a criminal in the state of California can literally walk into a retail store every single day of the year and steal $949 worth of merchandise and never spend a single minute in jail. Los Angeles has become a paradise for shoplifters, but many would argue that things are even worse in the Big Apple, that is New York City. As I discussed a few days ago, New York City has a $4.4 billion shoplifting economy, and approximately 90,000 packages are stolen in New York City every single day. And this is just one of the reasons why we have seen a mass exodus. Countless New Yorkers have already left for greener pastures, and lots more are thinking of leaving. About 7 million New Yorkers plan to leave the state. A new survey revealed this month. In a new Marist poll, 37% of New Yorkers, roughly 7 million people, said they plan to move away. The number was slightly more concentrated among Republicans, as 46% say they plan to leave the state compared to just 29% of Democrats. Surprisingly, many of those that are fleeing are heading to Florida. Unsurprisingly, that is. For many, Florida remains one of the top places to move, but southern states in general have been recording the biggest influx in transplants of people. According to Realtor.com, Philadelphia, Miami, Atlanta, Tampa, and Orlando remain some of the top locations for New Yorkers to start over again. I would not want to live in the Big Apple either. The rat problem alone would be enough for me to move. It just continues to escalate, and politicians are now proposing to use rat contraceptives, quote unquote, to deal with the millions of rats lurking at subway stations and empty lots. In New York City, the idea to distribute rat contraceptives got fresh attention in city government Thursday following the death of an escaped zoo owl known as Flacco, who was found dead with rat poison in his system. The city member, Sean Abreu, proposed a city ordinance Thursday that would establish a pilot program for controlling the millions of rats lurking in subway stations and empty lots by using birth control instead of lethal chemicals. Abreu, chair of the Committee on Sanitation and Solid Waste Management, said the contraceptives also are more ethical and humane than other methods. Unfortunately, New York City does not have the worst rat problem in America. That title actually belongs to the city of Chicago. Chicago has once again been declared the rattiest city in the U.S., according to Orkin's annual ranking. Los Angeles surpassed New York on this year's list, now holding the number 2 spot and bringing the Big Apple down to number 3, Orkin shared. Another notable shifts include Houston, which moved 10 spots up to number 20, and Charleston, North Carolina, that rose 16 spots to number 21. Somehow, the rat problem in Chicago has gone to an entirely new level this year. In fact, one local resident says it's now the worst that she has ever seen in her entire lifetime. The resurgence of rats has gotten out of control in Chicago's Portage Park neighborhood. Multiple residents explained Friday as they called for city leaders to take further action. Diana Gazda, a resident of the far northwest side community for 7 decades, said she has never seen an infestation like it. We never had a rat problem like this, she said. I've been here 71 years in my house. In addition to being world famous for rats, the Windy City is also world famous for violence. In Chicago, you can be downed at any time, day or night. Nobody is safe there, it's also especially true for police officers. Now, so which of these cities will completely collapse first? I think that is a very good question. They are all heading downhill very rapidly, and they are all being run by radical leftists. Of course, the exact same thing can be said about dozens of other U.S. cities. For years, I've been warning my readers about the cultural transformation that has been taking place in America, and how we raise our kids really matters. We have been failing them for decades, and now the consequences can be very clearly seen in the streets of our major cities. The horrific societal collapse upon us, it appears, and yet this nation continues to refuse to change direction. This is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Michael's new book entitled Chaos, available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon, and you can check out his new Substack newsletter right here. About the author, Michael Snyder, extremely controversial new book, Chaos, available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, Commissions Earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, The Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and share his articles on your own social media accounts. It's definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.